Hi and welcome to my random ruminations. Yesterday I went to see Big Hero 6 and Jupiter Ascendant. Now, Big Hero 6 is a above average superhero movie. It is an above average children's movie. The animation is beautiful. It is a deeply moving movie. And I have nothing but praise for it. Go and see it in the cinema. You need to go see it in the cinema. Even if you've seen the DVD screener that was leaked, there's just something about it on the big screen that makes it work even better. Now, Jupiter Ascendant. The biggest compliment I can give Jupiter Ascendant is this. I came out of the cinema thinking the Wachowskis should be hired to do a Dune movie. Why do I say that? Jupiter Ascendant is a movie about decadence. That's actually the core of what it's about. It does this via a love story between Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum, and there are a lot of people, spoilers, okay, a few spoilers, that say, oh, it's such a, that their chemistry is terrible and this and that and the other. Actually, their chemistry for the characters they're playing is fine. Channing Tatum is playing a wolf human half-breed, who, by the way, they are the source of our legends about werewolves, who has never ever had a pack. And because of that, he's emotionally and psychologically damaged. So yeah, he's a little bit cold, he's a little aloof, he doesn't express his emotions well. But I have to say, in the few scenes where Mila and Channing actually have this, have to show chemistry, they do show chemistry. It's, on his part, it's very restrained and very, almost cold, but it's there. Mila Kunis's chemistry towards Channing Tatum is far better, but she's just playing a human from a loving family, a fucked up family, but a loving family, and it makes sense. Now, the next thing I'll say is, it is a movie about decadence and about the potential for evil within decadence. And the whole way through it, all I could keep thinking was, oh my God, so if you change the names of the stuff that they're trying to make to sell, to spice, you have Dune. Change the world they're talking about to a desert, you have Dune. Change the name of the family to Harkonnen, you have Dune. Change the hero's name, the heroine's name to Atreides, you have Dune. And that is not an insult. The technology shown in the movie is very Dune-ish. It's bronzes, it's bright lights, it's... the colours vary from extravagant to muted. It describes a galaxy controlled by essentially purebred humans, not just for millennia, but for a billion years. A billion years, okay? And they do get around that in actually quite a good way that isn't insanely contrived. It's contrived, but for science fiction, it's pretty well contrived. Well, a lot of people, I've especially on io9.com, I read a review last night after I went to the movie that complained that Jupiter Ascending is a decadent movie about the evils of decadence. Of course it is. Dune is a decadent series of novels about the evils of decadence and fanaticism. It's also a book that inspires fanaticism, because it has to be. That's how you tell that story. Well, Jupiter Ascending is telling the story of the decadence of this billion-year-old empire. It's not even really an empire, I'm not entirely sure. I will say this, by the end of it, the world building they do, I'm still not entirely certain whether it's an empire or... they do have royalty and aristocracy, so maybe. But they are telling the story of a very decadent civilization. The only way to tell the story of a decadent civilization is to do so with excessive decadence. It's worth going to see. I very much enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to getting it on DVD and picking it apart in details, because there are so many details. It is, for me, a return to form for the Wachowskis. It is, in a completely and utterly different way, a new The Matrix. Seriously. The Matrix was, when you get down to it, actually quite a decadent movie as well. But again, in comparison to The Matrix, the Wachowskis here create a world where it has enough things that are uniquely it, that allow it to hold its own and stand on its own. To me, it's a return to form. It does have some of the limitations the Wachowskis continuously end up running into, but it has beautiful scenery, it has quite good acting, it has Sean Bean, always a plus side. The actors are all very good at portraying the characters that they're playing. They are. The CGI is, unsurprisingly for a Wachowski movie, exquisite. The ship design, the station design, the world design is just beautiful and different. You're not going to have seen ships quite like these before. Not on the big screen. And yeah, I would give this 4 out of 5 easily. If they hadn't left so much world building and so many, they do leave 1 or 2 loose ends which are, to my mind, quite obviously there for sequels. If they hadn't done that, if they had actually tied it off and closed it off as a solid closed-in story, it would get 5 out of 5. But even so, I would really, really love to see a sequel. I would love to see this universe explored more and these characters' story explored more. Even if it didn't get a sequel movie, if it just got a series of books, I would be delighted with that. So yeah, Big Hero 6, 5 out of 5. Just go and watch it, it's brilliant. Jupiter Ascending, 4 out of 5, losing 1 point for plot threads left hanging, and just for the few places where I felt they leaned too heavily on the lore and history of science fiction in general. For the main example, of course, being its Dunitis, where it has developed a very, very strong strain of Dunery the whole way through. Anywho, back tomorrow with Agrarian Skies, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye!